Okay, welcome back to NFT Party, episode 6. We're a bit excited for this one today because I'm going to take my sliders off, mate. I'm going to make myself it. All right, well, I'll make myself at home. I'm at home. There we go. So, right, bit of a new format today. Jack and I have been talking. I'm going to take a sip of water.
Yeah, we've been talking, and basically we've thought that we don't necessarily want to be the guys that just spout news at you.
There's plenty of YouTubers that are doing the news thing, and it's not like we were trying to do the news thing. We wanted to talk about NFTs. We knew that for a fact.
Yeah.
We wanted to do YouTube. We wanted to do a podcast. So we've been diving into this for a little while.
Yeah.
And sort of figuring ourselves out as we've been going along. But we found it difficult to kind of maintain consistency when we were just talking about news and discussing it because, well, for one reason, right now we're in a bear market and there's not that 100%. Much new, exciting stuff happening week in, week out.
That's like one of the main points though as well. It's exciting. Is it exciting or like, we've kind of felt like we were just spouting certain news that, look, I mean, we love NFTs, but like, it's not like we love absolutely every bit of news that comes up about them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like some of it is just bullshit that we feel like we owe it to kind of preach to you guys and just let you know what's going on in the world. But
because we're so heavy in the space, but because we were doing news really, we felt like we hadn't really got to open up about what we're doing, our backgrounds, and to be honest with you, we kind of got into this because we felt like the conversations that Jack and I have when we're just together, the chemistry's, we get on really well, the chemistry's good, but we just talk about business all the time, like 24/7. We're talking about business, and NFTs are a huge part of that, aren't they? Like we're always talking about NFTs in terms of business massively. At the moment.
We do. We kind of think about NFTs in terms of in relation to how can they be advantageous to whatever you want to build, which is the same thing.
Because our backgrounds are kind of marketing and e-commerce, really. Yeah. So we say business in a broad sense, but we are very heavily involved in the e-commerce. We do a lot of pay-per-click advertising. Jack's got a clothing brand. I've got a digital product e-com store. Yeah. So we're really heavy in that space, and we are really heavy in the NFT space as well. And to be honest with you, like as we've discussed on the podcast many times, like NFTs are going to be like move number 101 of building a brand or a business, any kind of IP, kind of e-commerce business, any kind of business in 2023 and onwards as the NFT space.
I mean, we threw ourselves into the actual NFT space for like the reason of how like because we were interested in it, but also how can we like use this to provide even more value through the things that we're actually doing and use it to like bolster and I guess aid the growth of the things we're doing. But it ended up that we ended up loving it so much that we were like, we kind of went even further and just ended up balls deep in it, trying to and then we created this podcast. So we thought rather than basically just sharing all that type of stuff, we want to give you an insight into our lives, who we are,
and hopefully bring a bit of value at the same time.
Bring value and document like kind of our journey and process and the things that we want to do and achieve and kind of grow with you guys.
And let's say why though, more specifically as well, because we are building several kind of projects at the moment, including an NFT, well, several NFT projects from different angles.
100%.
Which is something we'll get into in more detail because we kind of want the title of this video to be building an NFT project from scratch, or like how to build an NFT project. Yeah. The point being is we're going to document the process ultimately now on this channel of building and starting an NFT project from scratch.
Amongst other things though as well, building like NFT projects, an NFT project, and also building everything else that we do, because we're going to kind of document everything that we do on here so that it kind of shows how we're thinking about NFTs and how they can play into our lives and our businesses and things like that. So
with that being said, like and subscribe to NFT Party and get all the latest drops in your inbox and whatnot. It does help the channel out. So anybody that's watching, don't think I'm even in this camera, but yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Like and subscribe. Thank you very, very much. Hit that like bell and all the good stuff. I've got some hairs on this mic. Right, where do we start, mate? I mean, we've been working on 2 NFT projects lately, and I say lately. How long have we? When did we?
They've only just started. So me and you conceptualized them a little while ago, actually.
Probably I reckon about April of 2022.
Yeah,
I reckon April 2022 was the first time we discussed like.
Well, what are we in now? July.
Yeah, July.
June. Yeah, probably.
So April, May, June, July. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think so. Probably about April. Yeah.
Feels like we're doing it longer. Feels like we're doing it longer actually, but it wasn't like fully the start of the year.
No.
Jack's got a clothing company called Solas, and that was the first one that we discussed doing a project for, and that's been in the works for ages. What were the first moves when you sat down and thought to yourself, like, we're going to do an NFT project? How did you go about that, and what was the first move that you made?
That's a good question.
Put you on the spot, mate.
So obviously, like for me, just to like preface this, is like Solas is like my long-term vision, as in what I want to do for the rest of my life. So the way I think about Solas is everything I'm doing and trying to build with it from now is that it are things that like I think are going to help it grow and like provide like value and build community through it. So the NFT thing for me was like, this is a must. As soon as I understood how well it cultivates community. So then at that point I was like, I came up with the idea. So I'd spent a lot of time in Discord, as you know, met some people, and I was thinking, how can this be? Like, how could I work this into the business? And then it just came to me, the whole idea of the actual concept of the idea. So then once I had that concept, which I'll discuss another time, we
can do a whole episode, I think, to be honest, going into Solas and the Solas project.
Exactly. So, but once I got that, how did I start? So basically I knew the people I needed. I needed a development team who were going to work on it, which I was fortunate enough to have met people who knew people who actually did that.
You did a lot of the groundwork just through Discord at this point.
Yeah, it's all about your network, mate.
And it's really interesting because the second one, which we'll come on to, I actually think we should talk about the most recent ones. So I think we can do a whole episode on the Solas project.
100%, mate.
But the most recent one, we met all our partners in a very different way.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But sorry, carry on, mate.
Basically, I just said that you've got. So obviously, you know all this, but like through the people I'd met on Discord, I met people who put me in touch with a developer. So first and foremost, for people who are thinking about it, you just need to get your team in the right organisation. Like you need to get your team together.
Yeah.
So like I'd met the developer, spoke to them, asked them would they like to be part of it, pitched like I guess my idea for the concept and like showed them the business. Anyway, long story short, they agreed. And then the next step, which is arguably one of the hardest, was particularly for Solas, I wanted an artist whose like creative vision would align with mine. And honestly, it's a numbers game. It's like pick the people that you like, shortlist the people that you really like on Instagram and things like that. Or artists you already know that spring to mind, and then hit them up and offer them like basically percentages like in the actual project itself. And that's how I met Will, who's the artist for Solas now, who's an incredible artist, by the way. His name's Will Richardson Illustration on Instagram, so go check that out because he's actually
unbelievable.
And wait till you see what he's done. He's actually unreal, and he's such a nice guy, man.
Yeah.
And then I better shout out Freddie as well, Freddie Griffiths. So I found an animator as well, who's insane as well. He's just both of them. Honestly, yeah, like I gave them like a bit of information and they just come back and like smash it, just mad shit.
For context as well, Jack was doing all this before I was involved with anything to do with this project. Yeah. So this was all Jack off of his own back. and obviously we were doing NFTs.
Glorifying me.
You what?
It's just funny. No,
What?
No, I said you're glorifying me.
Well, no, it's the truth though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like I was in the space with you and we were having these conversations as you were doing it.
Yeah.
But it was only kind of at a later stage where I specifically got involved in Solas, although the ones we'll come on to talk about in a sec are completely things that we're doing together.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, no.
That was kind of like the genesis, like through me doing that and kind of understanding that process, having those conversations with the people involved and like basically mapping out what does this look like from start to finish was the thing that inspired us to create what
and I think one of the things that like the audience would find real valuable as well is the speed at which you did that was insanely quick. And so I feel like when you watch things on the internet often, it feels like that couldn't be you, or they've got something about them that was mega special that managed to like help them kind of be a ninja in business.
Yeah.
And obviously you know, I've got love for you, so I'm not saying you're not a ninja, but I feel like you. Well, the point is, we are at the end of the day just two guys from fucking Birmingham. Do you know what I mean? We're not like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so is Ben Francis from Gymshark. But the point I'm trying to make is, we weren't in this space at all, and then we were. You know, like there was no. We hadn't got anything about us.
No.
I would say, other than like mad hunger and work ethic to make that happen. You got your clothing company, which you'd been working on for a few years. But in terms of putting that team together, you did that over a relatively short space of time, probably over about the space of a month, less than that.
Yeah,
you'd got all the pieces in place for that.
But you say I got put that team together really quickly. But actually, wow, the hardest part was trying to figure out who was going to be like the developers and help me on that side of things. But that groundwork took a long time to be able to meet the people who would care enough to do that. Do you know what I mean? Or like any of some of the people I met. But I guess artist wise, but I get when you know what you want and like you set a goal, and like you just reverse engineer that process. I kind of hate that word, but it is true. It's like you set the goal.
It's basically what we've done with everything we've kind of come up against so far.
You've got a clear path, and then you just attack the path, and you're like, okay,
it actually becomes crazy easy when you do it that way.
Yeah, you just like hammer away at it until something comes off. And mate, I still think like what's meant to be will be with some things. Like things fall into place how they're supposed to. And
you've got to hustle as well. Like you can't be taking no for take no for an answer, but you can't be discouraged by no. Do you know what I mean?
Of course you can't.
All you're looking for is one yes. And I swear that's a cliche you hear, but you only need one yes. You only needed one developer.
No, it's so true.
I don't know how many you asked, but like maybe you asked 100. And knowing you probably could have well done, mate. I know what you get like. Do you know what I mean?
No,
so
I didn't.
The point I'm trying to make and stress to anybody that's watching that can maybe take value from this is none of the stuff that we've done in the process of building any of our NFT projects is anything that somebody else with the right drive and ambition can do themselves.
Oh, without a doubt.
So that's all I was trying to say.
You
there.
just got to really. I think the biggest thing is like it's like people who say know your job. You can't just do something and like not know. Like what we were literally talking about earlier is like you've got what was it? What did you say? You said a phrase to me. You were like, confidence comes when.
Oh yeah, confidence comes from competence.
Exactly, and it's so true. It's because like if you know and you understand like what you're getting into, like as much as you possibly
you will be confident in everything you do,
and that comes out like you exude that, and I think literally it's infectious.
I would say that's probably, if you had to put everything down to one pillar, that what we have, the stuff we do, that's the reason we've been able to do the things we've done, is because we've been confident in what we can deliver, 100%. In what we can offer to people,
and we've spent the time learning that shit to get confident.
It's mad how confident you get when you know what you're doing.
Of course,
it's in anything,
because you don't know what you don't know. It's even like when we started out with ecom, and just like even running ads and things like that other podcast we talk about, it's like there was a quote from that, and he was like, I'm like mature enough now to know what I don't know, which is powerful, and that made a lot of sense to me in thinking about us, because I was like, well, we've had that so many times, like where you've just been like, like you're scaling, for example, but you just don't know what else you need to like tip yourself over the edge.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know what you don't know in terms of, I don't even know where I'm going at this point.
The point is you can deploy other people that are maybe better suited to things the way you can't do that skill set. But you have to know where your weaknesses are in order to be able to do that.
Precisely, which just comes with knowing everything about it. So putting yourself in that position to know everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Or as much as you can.
So let's, because I feel like we need to give an overview here, and then we can go into more depth in subsequent episodes. But let's talk about the latest project that we've been working on fairly recently.
Cool.
So I think if from a general perspective, you and I sat down together and said, we are so excited about where the NFT space is headed.
Yeah.
That we would like to be in a position where we've got and put the infrastructure in place where we can be building NFT projects, and for whatever our ventures are, we know NFTs are going to play an important part. So you and I sat down and we've basically created what we would call a production house for NFTs called Touch Moon Studios. Exactly. And the goal of that is basically going to be to provide the infrastructure for ourselves, for our ventures, and maybe for other people if they were to come to us in a consulting capacity down the line. Yeah. This is all kind of future goals, I guess, where this can go. And so, we wanted to basically have an umbrella and a brand and a house to put this under. Which
we did sit down and think, oh, right. Well, yeah, because I guess you need to also delve into the fact that we were kind of like, right, okay, market conditions aren't great right now as a whole, but we don't want that to stop us because we know like great things can still be produced. In fact, unbelievable things get produced in like bear markets. So, and also I feel like me and you, like, we have to have a couple of different things in everything. So it's like one NFT project and like one creative angle doesn't always suit us. I feel like we need like a few different creative angles. So this for us was perfect. It was like, let's do something where we can release a couple of NFT projects, be part of them at the same time, and then like have fun with it in terms of like, let's figure out like the backstories to these, like conceptualize them like we did.
We like telling stories quite a bit, don't we?
Yeah, 100%, mate. We just get so excited.
The storytelling and the marketing aspect is like, it's almost like you should almost say it's like a weird little hobby for us, isn't it?
No, but it is though. Yeah. But it's sick. That's why I love marketing as well. But it's the same thing. Yeah. So basically
all roads pointed to doing something like this. Basically, it's something 100%. We've talked about for ages. Yeah. And I know I've already said this, every business is going to have NFTs worked into it in some shape or form. So it's really just about positioning ourselves to be in a place where we can.
They should do.
So where we can maximize that and be involved in that conversation coming, like in 3 or 4 years' time.
Yeah.
We'll be in that conversation. So that's kind of why we've done that and where that's coming from. So I guess we'll put out more information on that soon. I'm just where's my mic? Yeah, it is. I can see.
Still recording.
I'm gonna just check. Yeah, she's quiet. I think that's yours. Are you close to the mic?
Maybe not.
Yeah, you were just far off the mic.
We're better now.
Much better.
Okay, I'll keep this here. Quick question then to you for the people, is right. Like, so obviously we'd come up with this idea. We'd said, right, we want to create a production house, a bit like Yuga Labs, Dapper Labs, all of those things, Truth Labs, or whatever they're called. We want to have something that creates like multiple NFT projects that we can work on. What was our first steps for people who might want to?
Okay, yeah, cool. We'll get into that. And I also want to say as well, we'll talk about this more, and there'll be more information on Touch Moon Studios
100%
as we go forward. Because if you're watching this video, it's because we've titled it something along the lines of building an NFT project. So there's going to be
just like the first video to basically tell you what we're doing,
what we are doing. What did we do? We literally sat around your kitchen table and we came up with
who we needed,
a vision, a brand, aesthetic, and visuals. That was actually step number one. Quite literally a logo name, like the very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Once we got that, we could then basically go and look for who we needed to kind of make this thing a reality. So we were looking for developers and artists.
Yeah.
We did the marketing. We've got a network in the NFT space, which is pretty extensive now, thanks to the work we've been putting in that space. We know marketing and advertising, so that's something that we can really bring to the table.
Which is, by the way,
one of our strengths.
It is our strength. Just to caveat that with the point that, pay, just for people like who are interested in this, the paid route in terms of like paid ads, Google ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, all of that stuff is not the route you want to go down for producing like an NFT project.
Part of culture, is it really?
No, not at all. It's kind of frowned upon, to be honest. So definitely don't be thinking, I'm going to bang a load of ads.
Yeah, and all of our TikTok ads got banned as well. TikTok banned all our NFT stuff because even though we weren't actually trying to sell NFTs, obviously not. It still detected us, detected our
that's what it said. It said you don't need to
selling
if you
NFTs.
do anything that's selling NFTs and promoting cryptocurrencies or NFTs anyway.
Yeah, so the whole paid advertising space right now is not aligned with anything to do with NFTs.
When you see a paid ad for NFTs, though, it does look a bit like you automatically think that's a scam.
Yeah,
right?
fair.
Anyway,
so the final thing I was going to say is also content creation
and developer.
No, well, I was going to say our strengths was obviously in the marketing, the advertising, the network, and content creation. My background's heavily in videography, photography, and design. So, and
what else?
I can gas myself up there.
And design.
I knew this would be really funny, like sat opposite each other more. Yeah, I just basically do everything. Like no, we're not going down that route, bro.
I'll do everything.
That was meant to be a joke. That probably came out a little bit.
I'm joking.
Nah. So we needed developers and we needed artists basically in order to put out a project. So the story of how we got our developer is actually quite sick, and I'm really proud of us for this. But we went to
no. Before you say that, you have to say
we got hit with the ad.
Oh, you are going to start with that. That's luck. That is luck, though.
Well, we'd had this conversation about starting this studio.
Yeah, that's weird.
And we'd said we need a developer, and then Jack rings me up saying, "Oh my days, I've just been hit. Like you sent me this screen recording. You got hit with an ad on Instagram, having just said that like the paid space is not the place to be going. We just said that, mate. The paid space is not the place to be advertising NFTs, but you got hit with an NFT ad, and the ad was
no, but it wasn't an ad for an NFT.
Yeah, fine, but it was still on the subject of, and it was this guy from Birmingham, who had basically decided to put on an NFT. I guess like meetup / mini conference, a very, very local venue to us. Yeah. It was actually quite literally 100 meters away from my flat front door at the time, which is mental. And we were just like, what the hell? This is literally right next door to you. This is like some kind of fate thing going on here. But we were like, weird, man. We got to go and we got to go see who we're going to meet. Like, who knows what it's going to be like. It might be good, might not. It was decent.
But we did say in the car on the way there, we were like, we're meeting. Well, we had a shit day, actually. Do you remember that? I think we tried to film one of these and everything went wrong. Like the mics weren't working, the camera didn't work. It was fucking roasting. Like there was all sorts of shit going on.
And we sat in here and we were like, we finally got it done.
Dead day.
And we were like, all right, okay, laptop's closed. We're going to the NFT event tonight. I don't think we really wanted to go because it felt like a bit of a ball ache actually after we'd had a bit of a shit day. We were like, nah. We're going to meet a developer tonight. And we just kept gassing ourselves up saying, we're going to meet a developer tonight. And we got there and we fucking did.
We met our developer.
We actually did. We spoke.
And he's sick.
We spoke to,
a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a really, really, really nice guy. We spoke to a few people.
And we're excited to work with him, to be fair.
And we met him and we were just kind of talking to people. It was one of those proper like classic networking events. There was some speakers. And afterwards, everyone was on the champagne. We weren't. We were there teetotal because we were just like that. And everyone was like, on the booze. Games. But we weren't. We were just chatting to people, and we were like, let's make an effort to chat to a few people, find out what people are doing. We met a few good people there, to be fair.
There was some cool people there.
Quite chatty.
I think that's another important point. You've got to put yourself out there.
I mean, quite
you
literally.
Really do.
I mean,
that was literally a real life event, which was kind of sick event. For the NFT.
We went to a networking event and we met our developer at a networking event by just chatting to people and being ourselves, I guess. And we spoke to him and he was quite keen on the vision that we kind of set out and our ideas, and we were kind of keen on his energy. He sort of matched our energy quite well. And
like he seems to really love the NFT space.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so we're working on project number 1
at the moment
for Touch Moon Studios right now. That is separate to Solas.
Yeah,
and we'll get into that more in kind of subsequent videos. We're going to talk about our whole process of how we're building that out, and we're really excited about this. I think this is going to be really useful content. I think it's going to be really fun for people and hopefully just valuable. Because
I think so. I think it's just different than the shit that's out there. And don't get me wrong, like I love watching people's accounts that just share news, but I kind of feel like it needs something like a bit fresher, like a bit more like, I don't know. We kind of discuss like what do we actually, because we love YouTube, man. So like everywhere we go to learn shit, the first port of call for me anyway is like, how do I do this? And it's in YouTube. It's something like that. Particularly if it's technical. So, I mean, for us, like we're trying to figure out like how we could bring like the things we like to watch and the people we like to watch and kind of make it our own and just not have to do the whole.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon dropped an NFT last week.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll probably mention in passing.
Don't worry. But
we'll probably still talk about the really important things. But we just figured, maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe people will tell us we've got nothing to share. But I do think we probably have got some. I hope we've got some value we can share for an audience.
Man. I think across like everything as well. It's not even just NFTs either for like the people that are unsure or still hating on them. Like this, look, we think about NFTs in a lot of different ways as well. Like we're coming from a different angle on it necessarily to the people who are really like just NFTs. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to think of like applications for them, real life stuff, like stuff that isn't like, it's not our only hobby. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to say we're like super diverse in like what we do, but
well, there we go. I mean, I think we've just kind of freestyled this episode just to see kind of where it went. But I think what we'll probably end up doing is we'll probably look at what we've done over the week and what kind of steps we've made in
just do
terms
like
of the
update
project.
videos.
Yeah, and we'll just come up with a few bullet points and discuss
this
them.
Is what's been shit. This is what we've worked on. This is how we've done it. This is how it went. Yeah. Just like literally just like that. Just updates. One more point though before we end this.
Go on.
I want to just quickly discuss a topic I saw on Twitter. The account's called NFT God. I actually really rate him. So for anyone watching who like wants to learn some stuff, he seems to have quite a lot of interesting things to say. But he brought up the question, which I want to pose to you.
Oh yeah,
is basically like about bringing out a project in a bear market. Do you think it's a good idea to bring out a project in a bear market, or do you think it's bad? And do you think that if the answer is no, I wouldn't bring my project out in a bear market, do you think that's because you've got a shit product? Or
that's exactly where my mind went straight away. If you like, clearly it's always the conditions are never going to be perfect. There's never a perfect time for anything. And if you're waiting for a perfect time for something, you're fucked, mate. You're never going to get anywhere in life.
I think, do you know what? Like, I was reading through the comments and they were split because you had people saying, yeah, but like, if it flops, then it's hard for the project to get back on its feet.
So do a free minute.
Or like, if you've got a ridiculous, like, this is a good point.
Yeah.
If you've got like ridiculous expansion plans, then where are you going to get the revenue from to do it? Firstly, I think you've got to come out within your means, but I think it does actually show, do you care about the core, as in like building community through something and creating like like genuine like positive value versus I'm in it just for the quick money. You know what I mean?
It is a bit of a discussion about intent. I think it's like, it's what are you made of?
Yeah.
really.
And
do you back
also,
yourself enough to be able to operate and execute where it doesn't really matter?
100%. And are you in it for the right reasons? I think it says both of those things, because the other point that was said, what I found quite interesting was, like, do you ever see, like in what other market or industry does a bear market make everyone stop what they're doing or creating?
Yeah, okay,
you don't just not
fair.
stop like you wouldn't not bring out another product just because we're in a bear market in like clothing, for example. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to bring out a new collection. It's just how it is. And you've got to back yourself to be able to execute and perform, or sit back and be in it for the long run and start building now. Not everything has to come out and just go like fucking 100x.
I think,
do you know what I mean?
A big distinction, yeah, of course. I think a big distinction is, though, that a lot of people don't see dropping an NFT project as a business. They 100%. Just see it as a...
Yeah, that's a good point.
As a thing to do, because it can maybe make some money. But, or, you know... I think
that's where people need education.
Realistically, from a macro perspective, dropping an NFT project is no different from dropping a clothing line or a makeup line. Well, if you're just dropping it, it's a business venture.
See, this is what I think. Like, because there was news. I said I wasn't going to share news, but can't help it. There was news like that Minecraft banned NFTs. Yeah, which flopped.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
They basically said that it doesn't align with their values because it promotes like exclusivity.
What do you mean? I'm not actually that familiar with the game. So were they using NFTs in their game or something?
No, kind of. No, they weren't using NFTs in their game, I don't think. Look, I'm not super familiar with Minecraft either. I wouldn't be the biggest player of it.
You sure?
100%. But what happened is like, you know, NFT worlds, for example, they built like little Minecraft worlds.
Oh, okay. What, so just like you can't build NFTs. You can't make NFTs.
You can't like sell skins as NFTs for the game. You can't build worlds for the game. Tanked NFT worlds, like super down, like to like, I think they're at like 1 ETH now. They were up at like 16 ETH at one point. Anyway, I saw like the founder of one of the co-founders of Sandbox, which is obviously the one big metaverse everyone's still talking about and buying land in, the virtual land. He came out and was like, what did he say? He said, basically he was super disappointed with them and thinks that like they're basically what they're saying doesn't make sense because they're saying they're promoting inclusivity by basically stopping the freedom for creators and letting the creators be able to monetize themselves. It was just
blows my mind, bro, that you've got CEOs in like one of the most clearly successful brands or game or companies in the world that like,
they said they haven't completely shut the door though. They said they
right, okay. So maybe they're positioning.
They make all the money anyway.
They must be positioning themselves, mate, to be bringing their NFTs out, because there's no way Minecraft is not bringing out an NFT ever. I guarantee they'll bring them out.
I just think they said no NFTs and no blockchain technologies will be implemented at this time, and they banned all that shit anyway.
At this time being a key phrase there.
It was something like this time, or the door's not fully closed or something like that. But yeah, obviously Twitter didn't like Twitter didn't like it. The whole gaming community loved it because they
again, that blows my mind that the gaming community is against NFTs. Yeah, that blows my mind because they're literally doing it. It's just,
but that's why
they're buying the Fortnite skins, but they can't prove they own them.
Yeah, that's why I think like that's why I feel like Minecraft have probably done it strategically, because the majority vote on the gaming side of things is that people don't like NFTs. Surely must be like a play, because they're going to bring something out in the future and they just want to make sure they're in control of the narrative around it. Yeah, exactly. You would think. I think that is it, which is a shame, mate.
They can't be completely uneducated, surely. Like CEOs, CFOs, C-suite people are going to have people in their ear telling them.
Unless they just think, look, it's not where it will be yet, and we don't want to move on it and lose out. But I think Microsoft own Minecraft. I think so. Okay. And I know they've been late moving on a few things in the past as well. So
yeah, but old Billy Boy Gates doesn't really like NFTs either, does he?
Well, he hates them, yeah. So look, I just think education-wise on NFTs, for the people who will watch this and then drop some comment and say NFTs are a load of shite. Okay, mate, nice one. But think about it in a different way, because are you just literally, most people who are saying that to us are just saying like, yeah, it's a worthless digital image. Well, no, it's not. Go and watch some of our other videos and figure out how you could use it, because that's what we're doing. We're not trying to sell digital images. We're trying to figure out what could be used, like how you could utilize them to grow other things that you're doing, and also how you could what's the word? Like implicate them in your life.
Implement
them in your life. Things like that.
Implement them in business.
So yeah, and
e-commerce and such.
But it's interesting. I do think, yeah, you should be building right now.
Yeah, well, we kind of swerved away from that question you literally posed me.
I know.
I wasn't done on that topic.
Go on then, mate.
Well, I'm not even on the spot now. But not really about the bear market as such, but I just think the way people perceive dropping NFT projects, for some reason, has not caught up to what it actually is. The nature of it is really, it's a business. Yeah. And so I think the reason a lot of people are scared to drop the NFT project in a bear market is because they clearly just don't feel like they will either have the long-term business vision to carry it on past dropping it in the first in the first 3 months of operating with it, or they just don't have the vision to see what it could become. And they don't have the acumen to execute.
By the way, one thing I disagree. Well, I know you don't mean it like this either. I don't think an NFT is a business. Like, I think it can turn into it. Like a random project that's been created. I don't think necessarily they're a business. I think they can be utilised for your business. That's the way I get excited about them.
Okay, yeah.
I know that I know projects can turn into a business because they came out of nowhere.
The distinction there is
like
what we keep trying to make to people, and that's the distinction between NFTs as a tool and a technology.
That's it.
And then some NFT projects are coming out and building IP as a business.
That's it.
So like that would be Bored Apes, that would be Doodle.
Exactly.
They're building a big brand and a business around
I think that's going to be harder and harder to do though. Because I think I'm very intrigued to see the way the market goes with people bringing out an NFT project and making it into a business versus people who have already established a business or are growing a business in a different way and then utilize NFTs.
Yeah. That's without a doubt the side of things that excites me and you the most.
100%.
We're always talking about that, and we're going to get onto that in more videos, and I can't wait to talk about that more. But yeah, no, it's the people that are literally dropping a project to create IP. Yeah. The weak ones of those are clearly the ones that are just not wanting to drop in the bear market. But there we go. I think that answers your question. That probably rounds up quite nicely. Boom. So we'll get into more depth on a lot of these topics and all this shit. Which
to be fair, man, I
much more fun.
I preferred this.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot more as well.
More fun anyway. Yeah,
it's flowed. I don't know how long it was, but hopefully.
But see, yeah. So we'll drop these way more regularly now, and we'll just give you updates on the journey. We'll do podcasts together, like talking about shit. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more relaxed and more about what we're doing. NFT knowledge hopefully will be dropped in the fact that we're actually on that journey. We're not just spouting news. So
hopefully be able to pack a lot more valuable information into these videos, because it's something we're living right now. We're
like actionable information.
Actionable information, yeah. Maybe that needs to be like a buzzword or something. Yeah, it's something we're operating and building right now. So there we go, episode 6.
That's sick.
Bam.
Nice one, bro.
Like and subscribe. And we'll see you either in the comments or the DMs. Find us on IG and on TikTok and Twitter and that as well. And we'd love to DM with you and chat. There we go. Thank you for watching.
Big love.